Hi everyone. Yeah, just give me a second. We can start the session. Sorry. Yep. So today's I hope everyone is doing great. So today's topic is Microsoft Power Automate flows. So what are all the topics that are already covered so far? If anybody could tell, we can just quickly start the session. I mean, not in detail, but at least the uh, topic headings or something like that is also fine.
Hello.
There
In
is one.
business process flow,
Oh,
BBS.
okay. 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 That's fine. Okay, so the next topic is Power Automate flows. So why we use the Power Automate flows in Dynamics 365 CRM. So we have gone through the different modules, right? For example, sales and customer service. So in sales, while we have discussed about the sales, we have talked about the opportunity, sorry, lead, and once the lead got qualified, an opportunity will get created. And once opportunity is won, then the like whatever the product is being will be sold out. Okay, so before that, they in between there might be some steps where before opportunity, whoever is working on that salesperson, whoever is working on that opportunity, if they want to change the status to one or something else, then they might need their manager or their team lead require approval on that one. So what they can do, instead of just manually asking them, so for each opportunity, what they can do, so every time a status is being changed, maybe before the one, we can have some other status. So whenever the opportunity status is waiting for the approval or something like that, then an email can send to the approver, whoever it might be, whether it can be a manager or the lead, team lead, anyone. Okay, so such kind of things, instead of just doing manually, we can use this Power Automate flows, which will automatically send the any kind of notification, whether it can be an email or any other updates automatically. Then we can use this Power Automate flow. Okay, in customer service, so we have a case creation and case assignment and case closure, right? So in all these three steps, we can use this Power Automate flow. For example, when the case got created, we are saying whoever is creating the case, so to that customer, we will be sending an acknowledgement email saying that your request has been case has been created for your request, and these are the details, so and so. Okay, that acknowledgement email, we can send it through Power Automate flow. Instead of whoever is working on the case can send to that customer. If we have this Power Automate flow, we can just easily send the email to the customer on a case creation. And then once case got assigned to the particular supervisor, then if he didn't check the inbox, like what are all the work items he has to work at that time, we can just whenever the case is getting assigned to any person, then that person should receive an email saying that this particular case has been assigned to you. Okay, so this also we can achieve using this Power Automate flow. And the next one is case closer. So whenever the case is getting closed, we can ask the feedback from the customers. So at that time also we can use this paradigm flow. Okay, so these are all the scenarios where like we have so many, but I'm just giving a brief idea about like where all what are all the places we can use this paradigm flows. Okay, I hope everybody started using the platform like CRM platform. So if you have started using it, so it will be very familiar to you, like whatever the examples I'm going to show you. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. You can see my screen, right? Okay, I hope it is visible now. So before that, I'll show you like make.paratamit.com.
I
Paratamit.com.
hope it actually hear me.
Yes, yes.
Like in the beginning, we have created one sales app, right? While explaining the sales hub process.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
In the beginning sessions, while explaining about sales hub
Mm-hmm.
session, you have created that app, right? Sales hub. Like as a new
Mm-hmm.
user, actually we haven't able to see that app. Like if you want to create that app, how can we configure it?
That is actually an out of the box app. We don't have to configure it. But I think whatever the environment Harish have created, that might not have the out of the box apps. We can ask
Uh,
him so that
yeah,
that app will
we cannot
be
see that app.
installed here.
Okay.
Huh. We can ask Harish to add those apps as well.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
that is a out of the box one. We don't have to configure it or do something on that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we can continue. So whenever you want to build up automate flows, then you can just hit this URL make.automate.com, and then here you have to select the appropriate environment. So here I'm working on LUIT type, so I'm selecting that. And then here you have an option to create a flows. So first I'll be clicking on the create. So here you can see the my flows. So whatever the flows that I have created will be visible under here, this section. Okay, so first when I click on create, here we have a multiple options. So first thing is start from blank, and the next is start from a template. So if you don't know how to configure for the first time, what you can do, just select any of this so that a pre configured steps will be added to your flow so that it will be easy. For example, follow up on a message. So what they are doing to follow up on a message, what are all the steps they are adding. So this way you can check for each of them. And also you can like you can see what are all the steps like controls or the actions they are using, that you can check using these templates for the first time. Okay, so it will be very useful to understand. Okay, so I'll just show you from the blank for now, but for your understanding, just go with the template, any template, just pick anything and it will create you some steps. Let me just select one otherwise. Okay, it's asking to sign. Okay, here you can see these are all the steps are part of this task. Follow up on a message for a selected message, what they are doing. So this you can check later, but now we'll be checking with the blank, we'll be going with the blank. And before that, so we have different types of flows. For example, here you can see automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, scheduled. So this way we have few. This we will talk later, but right now these three are the important ones. So automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, and scheduled cloud flow. So by the name of these three, you already understood what it means, right? So automated cloud flow means whenever some action is happening from the CRM side, so based on that action, it should get triggered, this flow. Okay, I'll show you the example as well. And then the next one is instant cloud flow. So here the name itself is saying instant means whenever we need the flow to run, then we can directly hit on the flow so that it will get triggered and whatever the actions are part of that flow will get executed. Okay, that is the purpose of instant cloud flow. And then scheduled cloud flow. See, so here schedule means at any point of time, for example, there are some uh, there are some contacts for which like every day I have to check whether all the email or the phone numbers are present or not in the all the contacts that are present in the CRM. So then what I'll do, instead of checking them manually, I'll just create a flow, scheduled flow, where I'll say every day morning 9 o'clock, just check the contacts and see whether any contact doesn't have an email or phone number. Okay, so in such scenarios, we can use the scheduled cloud flow. Okay, we can check each of them. So first I'll be just creating the automated cloud flow. Okay, here you can add flow name. Okay, so we have an option to choose the trigger here. I'll let you know what is the trigger, but we can just skip here because in the later section also we can just select the trigger. So I'm just skipping this part here. And now when you see this one, this is a new designer, which is not actually not that much comfort. You can try, but for me, it's always the old one. So I'm just going with the old designer. So which is somewhat different from the new designer. So you can always just toggle between old and new designer. Okay, that is just an option. So here the first thing for the automated flows, first thing we have to select is a trigger. So here trigger is nothing but when this flow should get called, executed. Okay, so we have a few options here. When you see this, we have two sections, triggers and actions. So inside the triggers, we have these options, manually trigger a flow, or when a Power Apps calls a flow. For example, I'm having a Canvas app, and from there, if I'm calling the Paratomate flow, then this trigger I can use. And when an agent calls the flow, means the when we call this flow from the bot. Okay, so this way we have the SharePoint, so different connectors we have. Okay, so first I'll just so here what I'm going to show you, whenever a case is getting created, email should get uh sent to the customer. So that scenario, I'm just creating one flow now. Okay, so what can be the my trigger here, as I'm checking for the case creation in the CRM. So here my trigger will be Microsoft Dataverse. Okay, so before that, I'll show you what are all the connectors we have. I just missed that one. Huh. So here you can see connector. So here connector is nothing but from where I'm going to fetch the data. For example, here SharePoint, Microsoft Dataverse, OneDrive. So these are all like storages where I have the data. So from there, I want to pick the data. Okay, for example, in SharePoint, I just have few files. From there, I just want to pick the details. So then I can use this connector. Otherwise, I'm doing something on the CRM side. So whenever a case creation or case update is happening, then my flow to trigger, then I can use this Microsoft Dataverse. Okay, the same way, whatever the connector where you have the data that you can select in the connector. Okay. So now let's go back to the flow. Okay, edit. Think somebody has created it. Please let me know if anybody is not getting what I'm saying here. Because we have 3-day session here. So it will be great if you're able to just get the basic details. Okay, so here I'm going to send an email to the customer when the case is getting created in the CRM. So I'm just selecting this connector here, Microsoft Dataverse. And here the trigger will be. So we have a multiple triggers. For example, here you can see when a flow step is run from business process flow, or when a row is added, modified, or deleted, nothing but when a case record is getting added, meaning created, or updated, or deleted, and when a row is selected, if I'm just selecting a case, or when an action is performed. So these are all the triggers that we have for this Microsoft Dataverse connector. And here I'm just going with this one, when a row is added, modified, or deleted, because I'm just going to send an email on case creation. So here you should select the change type. So it has all all these three in different combinations, added or deleted. So based on our requirement, we can select. So for now I'm just selecting added only, because on case creation only I'm just checking. And then what is the table name? So which table on creation of which record this flow should get executed. So here I'm saying added, but which table record is getting added? So then, so when this should get executed? So here I should select my case table. The incident. Let's see. Wait, maybe. Just a second, guys. Okay, so here we don't have that customer service apps or sales apps, so that is the reason case entity is not present. So here I can use students or courses. So let me try with student or courses. Okay, here you can see the student entity is there. So whenever a student record is getting created, then I'll just send an email. Okay, the scope is organization. Okay. So in later sections, we can discuss about what actually scope means here. But for now, you can just select organization, and I'll explain why we are only seeing organization also here. Okay, and then we have another option called select column. So here what it means, like so here the change type is added only, but if I select this one, added or modified, which means if a student record is getting created or updated, then this flow should get executed. So in that case, whatever update I'll be doing on the student record, in all scenarios, this will executed. Okay, so which is a not necessary thing. So in that case, what I can do, only for the few fields which are present in the student record, only when those fields got updated, then only this flow should get triggered. For example, whenever I'm changing the all seems to be important ones only, but let's suppose say whenever I'm changing the email or name or course or anything, it shouldn't get triggered, but only if the sorry, fee paid, only fee paid is getting changed, then only this should get triggered. Then what I'll use, just use fee paid. Check the schema name of this fee paid column and just add the fee paid here. Okay, so whenever the fee paid column is getting changed on the student, then only this will get triggered. Okay, this way you can add multiple columns. For example, fee paid and the student status. So both I can add here. Okay, so this way I can do for the modified scenario. Okay, this way we can just stop the multiple triggers or something like that. Okay, so for now I'm just using added and filter rows. For example, whenever we are doing this, for example, when we have a multiple rows got selected for this particular scenario, in that case, I don't want to just perform the action on all the records, but rather I'll just choose few. For example, here we can say maybe all the active students, 5 records are there, but I don't want to perform action on 5 records. Maybe I need two based on some field value. Then what I'll use, some filter I'll be using saying if student status is active, then only perform this, execute this flow. Okay, that OData filter also will be showing, like it will be like what is the column name and equals to something like that. It will be there. Status equals active. Okay, something like this will be here. So this terms we will be having, right, equals to not equals or something like that. So that we can see in the next sessions. Okay, so here filter rows means to filter the resulted record so that we don't have to perform on all the records. Okay, for that we can use this filter rows. Okay, so this is all about the trigger. So we do have other options also when we go into the settings section, but that we can check later. But for now, just a basic idea, to give you a basic idea, this is enough. In the next section, we can see what are all other settings we have to trigger this flow. Okay, are we clear until here? Any questions? Okay, I'll take that as S. Then we'll continue. So I'm done with the creating a trigger. So when this flow should get triggered. Okay, I'm done with that part. Next part is what I should do once I'm done triggering this flow. What is the next steps? So on creation of student, what I'm going to do. Okay, that I can add here. So here first you'll see the all the actions present here. Okay, all the actions based on this connectors here we are having. Okay, so based on the connector, it will show, for example, if I'm using a builder, so a builder related actions all are coming here. So I'll not just go to that. For example, if you're just taking the Excel, then what I want to do on Excel sheet, I want to delete a row or want to add a new row to the Excel sheet or just get the worksheets present in the entire Excel sheet. So that way I can just do actions on a Excel sheet. So that is for the Excel connector. But here my connector is Microsoft Dataverse. So what I'm gonna do. So on the creation of student, what I'm not updating any field on the Dataverse, rather I'm just sending an email. So mail is present. Send an email. Okay, I'll just use this one. Sign in. Okay, this seems to be working. Okay, so this is version 3. So that this is the new one, send an email notification. And here I can add all the details to whom I should send an email and what will be the subject and the body. Okay, here whatever the connection reference I'm using, that on based on that connection, the email will get sent. Okay. And then the next part is, for example, here what I'm doing whenever the student record is getting added. So when this flow is getting triggered at that time, that student record details, all the field values will be present in this step. And in the next step, to whom I want to send an email, that I can just select from here. So whatever the fields are present on the student, that are present here in the dynamic content. So whatever we are seeing, so these are all part of this step. When a row is added, modified or deleted, this first step. So these all values are coming from this first step. So these all are part of the student record. So what if I want to use anything from this field, then I can use. So for example, to whom I want to send an email. Here we only have one field for the email. So this I'm going to use. So to the student, the email should get sent. So I'm just using email here. Okay, and what will be the subject? Something you can just provide here. Your student record has created something like that. And then body content of the email. So if you want to just provide anything, let me show you. So student record has been created for this course. And what is the course name? Okay, so here the course value is nothing but whatever you will be providing here. Okay, course 1 will be coming in the email. Okay, here it is a dynamic content, so you'll just see the field value, but when this flow is getting executed at that time, this will have this step will hold the student record details, and inside that, in the next step, it will just fetch the value of course value from this step. Okay, while execution, it will get the actual value. Okay, so this way you can just get the dynamic content value here. So if you are adding another step here, for example, I'm just fetching another value from the Dataverse, then with that step name, you can see the other dynamic values as well. For example, just let me just add one thing for your understanding. So, oh, sorry. I'm saying list rows. So this is another connector. For example, let me show you first what are all we have for the Microsoft Dataverse. So here, add a new row means whenever we want to create a new record. For example, whenever a student record is getting created, then maybe a subsequent course record also we want to create. If we have the course entity, then if we have the scenario, then we can just say add a new row, and here we can just say which record we want to create, whether it is an account or course, so that we can select, and the remaining details, required details, we can provide. Okay, let me go back. Okay, and then so this will, like, if I want to delete a row or delete a row from selected environment, or get a row by ID, for example, here I have a here I have a student record. So inside the student record, I can get the course ID. This is a lookup, right? So obviously this is an another record value, right? So if I want to get the details of this course one, here it might be just a course one only. But when I open this course one, Here also I'm having just name. So here, if I'm having a multiple field values here inside the course record, then what I can do directly from this step, I'll not get the, so from here, I'll just only get the student record details only. Okay, I'll not have the course details. So if I want to go into the course details, then what I can do, I'll do just get a row by ID, and then I'll just provide the courses, and row ID is a course value. Okay, so here I'm providing the width of the course record, and then if I see here, if I go here and check for the dynamic content, you can see list rows. Sorry, not list, get a row by ID. So these are all the values that are for the course record. Okay, what I'm doing here, just getting the course ID value, lookup value from this first trigger step, and using that ID, I'm just using this action get a row by ID to get the actual course record. So if I want any values from that course record, then I can just search it here inside this dynamic content. In this step, get a row by ID, and in this, whatever you want to get. Okay, just for an example, I just shown you. And what else we have? And list rows. List rows means, so here list rows means, for example, get a row by ID means we only fetched only one record. But if we want to fetch multiple records, then we can just use a fetch XML. So did Harish already mentioned about the fetch XML query? Hello. Okay, if not, then maybe we can discuss in the next session, but say yes or no so that we can proceed. So it's just that fetch XML query is nothing but whenever we want to just fetch a few records from the same entity, for example, or same entity or a related entities. Nothing. So whenever we want to fetch the records, multiple records, then we can use the fetch XML query. For example, here I want to just fetch all the active students. Not all the students, but all the active students. So I'm using this filter here. You can see status equals to active. Okay, and when I just a second, we have download fetch XML here, right? So when I downloaded it, save. Okay, so this is the fetch XML, and here you have a LUIT student, and this is the filter state code equals to 0. So this fetch XML I can use. So this fetch XML I can use it here. So first I'll have to just add the table name. And then what are all the columns I want to fetch? If I don't want all the columns from the student record, then what are all I need? Maybe ports value or something like that. And then filter rows if I want to just filter few. And then we have this fetch XML query. Okay, so here I can just add. So whatever the fetch XML we have got from that filter, right, that I can add here so that only active student records will be fetched in this step. So I can have a 4, 5 or 10 or 100, any number of rows I can get using this action. Okay, list rows action. So not only the student, but any entity present in the CRM, I can fetch the details. Okay, so this is useful for that. Let me just remove. So this way you can just explore. Everything is free here. So you can, though you are seeing premium, it doesn't matter. You can try. Sorry. You can try a few things here. Okay, so here I'm saying when a student is getting added, send an email notification. Email subject your student record has been created for the course value. Okay, let me see. Let me create one student record and then we'll see whether that is getting triggered or not. Student records, registration date, fee paid, yes. I'm just saving it up. Somebody has tried the workflows here. One or more child workflows it uses have not been published or have been deleted. Please check the one. I think somebody is working on this student entity, might have created child workflow or something, and they might have deleted it. So I'm not able to save this one. Let me just change this trigger. Hope everyone is getting what I'm doing. So I'm just changing it because I'm not able to save the student record. So I'm just changing back to the courses. And I'll not get this here. So instead of send an email notification, as I'm not having any email, for now, maybe what I can do, I'll just use the hard coded one. This is not going to work, but just that we can check the run history also. And then, okay, and the next part, once the course is getting added, then I'm saying a new student should get created. Add a new row. Students. And the name is only the required field here, so it is only asking for the name. And then the same one I'm giving. gmail.com. So whatever the fields I want to fill, I'm just providing them here. Okay. Registration date. This is not a date fit here, so I'm just not created on. Okay, fine. Okay, what I'm saying here, when a row is added, the course is getting added, then I'm saying add a student record with these details. Okay, whatever the course it may be, then just add this one for now. Okay, and then I have just used this one. Let's see how it will work. Oh, just sorry. And here, whatever the dynamic content I have selected here, this is coming from the first step only, right? Let me just cross check it again. Just change it. So if that step is there, so here previously it was there student. So here I have selected course value. But now that is not present, it will throw you an error. So I'm just removing it and whatever is present in the course record that I'm selecting here, then only it will work. So that dynamic content also you should check whether whatever you are referencing here is already is present or not in the previous steps. Okay. Now I'm going to test it by creating a course record. Okay, it got created and let's see whether it got executed or not. So how we can check whether it got executed or not? Here you can see this flow tester. So here you have a run history. So here you can see whether this flow got triggered or not. Okay, so this didn't get triggered. And here you have an option like edit, share, and send a copy, export, and analytics and turn off. So it should be on turn on state, then only it will get triggered. So we have to check this one. And if we have any errors, then we can check here. Okay, status should be on, and now we have to see why this is not getting triggered. And we'll just let's start manually. My this is not getting triggered. We have only one courses entity. Scope is organization. Nothing else we have provided. Yeah, this is not getting triggered. Why? This is getting triggered, sorry. Okay, here you can check the run history and it is failing because of the last step, I guess. So in the run history, we can see what is happening. So once you open it, in which step it is failing, we can check. Here you can see change type is 1, which means added, and the table name is course, and all the details of this record is present in the body. Oh, in the add and euro itself, it is giving error saying cannot run. Because we are having issue with the saving the student record, right? So it is trying to add it, but it is saying this workflow cannot run because one or more child. So whatever we have seen, like when we are trying to add manually, then we are seeing the error, right? So the same way it is throwing here as well. So because it is failing, the second step itself is failing, it is not going to third step. So it is getting cancelled. Okay, just let me update it to something here. Maybe I'll just remove this one. Whoever is working on this, I don't know who is working on LUIT Dev, but if you are doing something, if it is throwing error, just revert it back so that when we try something, it will not waste our time, okay? Okay, so once it is getting added, then send an email. I'm just trying for this one. It test automatically. So I'm not just creating another record, but I'm saying automatically with a recently used record because I have created 3 records here. So I can just anything instead of just creating a new one. Okay, this way also we can just test it. This also failed, saying. Sorry. So this one I'll check with Harish. So this one I'm not sure. The send email, the other one should work for this record, I mean user ID. But sign in is not working with that one, so I'll be not able to show you like how this send email will work. Okay, but we don't have any other entities also present here. Contacts is there. Let me try with contact then. Okay, this I'll check with Harish and let you know. And for now, I'm just adding another action where I'm just, I'll be creating a new contact. But that is the only contact only, right? That is the only entity present here. So I'm just using contact only to show you the output. Okay, so whatever the required details it is expecting that we should provide here. And first name. Okay. At least this will work. Okay, your flow ran successfully. And if you just go back to the CRM and if we just refresh it, you can see Jyoti R got created. Okay, any questions here with this automated automate flows? So here I have just used like create a new record contact, but in the real time scenarios, we can have multiple other requirements. For example, when a course or student got created, maybe we have to send an email to the student or we have to just update some other field values in the other entities. So that way, based on the requirement, we can just add the actions here but for now I'm just adding this new record of a contact, but based on the requirement you can change it. Maybe Harish will give you the assignments for each scenario, then you can try there. Okay, any questions here in the automated workflow? Hey, if you respond, then I'll be able to deliver patiently. Otherwise, it will be like one-way communication. I'm not even feeling like I'm with the 6 participants here.
Yeah, there is no question, Jyoti.
Okay. At
So
least, yeah, we are getting something yes or no, such kind of answers. Also, when I feel like I'm only the one here, nobody
yes,
in
yes,
this
yes,
call.
we got it, we got it. So
Hmm.
still, if anything is required, we'll definitely come back to you, or else we can contact Arish. So
Sure.
we'll ask him some of the scenarios, more scenarios.
He'll definitely provide you the assignment so that you'll get the hands-on.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is about the automated cloud flow where we have seen like based on the scenario. For example, when the case is when the record is getting created or when the record is getting updated. So the same way, like let me show you one scenario
So,
for the update as well.
Shruti, one question from my side. Sorry,
Uh,
in here we can use workflow, right?
what do you mean?
For
Sorry,
our
sorry.
automation workflow is there, right?
Uh-huh.
So can we create a multiple perspective for single workflow for automated perspective?
So you are saying one workflow can be used in multiple
Reasonable.
scenarios.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes, we can use it. Wherever it is required, we can use it.
Can you show one of the example tomorrow? Some different
Um,
type of how can we implement how what are the steps?
Maybe I can try by
You can
adding some
uh,
entities and all.
yeah,
Yeah.
different entities so that it is very helpful for us.
Hmm. But the idea is like whenever we do have, for example, here my scenario is whenever I'm adding the course, then adding a new contact for this course related
Exactly.
student or whatever.
Yeah.
So in all the scenarios, these courses should be there involved, then only I can use this flow. Because
Oh.
here I'm saying the table name should be this, table name should be this. So
Mm.
obviously, in all the scenarios, if these entities are involved, then I can reuse the flip flow anywhere.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
that is the kind of thing. So that so
Huh.
then like in Salesforce, in
Otherwise,
ServiceNow kind of stuff, we can use the in
huh.
single workflow or flow designer kind of we can use multiple reusable kind of stuff. Because cloud
Hmm.
based, if you create new each and everything dependence, it will be very catches and storage is very more so that we can
Ultimate flow
add.
is fine,
Mm,
but we have to think. I think you guys already have gone through the workflows, right?
yes, yes.
So we have to see which will be the best one, whether it is workflows or parautomate flows. In parautomate flows also we have some limitations
Yeah,
that we
limitations
will
there.
be that we'll be checking later on. But
Mm,
based on this limitation and the workflow limitation, we have to figure out like which will be the best for the performance wise.
exactly.
Okay, so that way also we should check, not like for everything we should use the parautomate flow,
Exactly.
because per day I think for one instance it will be like some what we say. So we have this trigger, right? So this way, how many triggers should get triggered for a day for an instance? So that kind of limitations will be there. So instead
Yeah.
of just choosing the parautomate flow for all the tasks, we can just divide them into the workflows or the plugins or based on our requirement.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm. And the other scenarios which I can tell you is, for example, if you are creating an parautomate flow where once the case got created, you have to send an acknowledgement email. If it is not
So one thing, what is the main difference between paratimal workflow and workflow kind of thing?
this, okay, so here you can see, right, the triggers and all different connectors we have here. If you
Yes.
can see here, automated, instant, and scheduled.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the kind of flows we have, and also we have a multiple connectors here.
Exactly.
Okay, this is about the Power Automate because we can connect to the Power Apps as well as different connectors as well, like SQL or Power Canvas app. So such kind of connectors also we can connect in this Power Automate flow. But
Okay.
when you talk about the classic normal workflows, there I think we hardly have few triggers. For example, when a record is created or status change or when it is
Updated kind of stuff.
updated. Only those scenarios and only to that particular record only.
Exactly.
It will not give you an option to just connect to the a different connector. For example, SQL. If I have data in the database, then I don't have an option to check it from the workflow. But from here, I can just use the connector of the SQL and just interact with the database as well. So
Yes, yes.
yeah. So it is like whenever you have, for example, this sending a email, like normal scenarios, then you can go with the normal workflows. But it is Cloudflow means the name itself is saying, like for example, what if we have the data in different app or different database, that also we can get from here.
Okay.
Okay, and we don't have to write any code, just drag and drop. Like you have seen, right, how we are getting the triggers and actions. So such kind of things are easy with this Power Automate flow.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. So we have discussed like for the automated cloud flow. So whenever there is an action in the Dataverse, for example, record creation or update or delete or whatever the action might be. So based on that, our cloud flow will get triggered. Okay, that is about the automated cloud flow. We don't have, I mean, user intervention is not required. So based on the requirement, we will just create one flow, and this that will get triggered every time that action is happening. Okay, so that is about the automated cloud flow. The next thing is instant cloud flow. So the name itself is saying, so whenever you need it, then only you will execute it. Okay, let me show you manually trigger a flow. I'm saying this one. Maybe I'm not good. So I'll just say manually trigger a flow, and I'm just choosing an operation. What I will do, I'm saying just first get a row ID. So here get a row ID. If I use this one here, I should have the row ID. But in my previous step, I don't have any trigger, right? So I'll not have any record ID. So I'll have to provide it hard coded way, which is not correct. So I'll not go with this one for now. Then what? So I'll just say list rows, and I'll get all the courses records. Okay, I'll just, I'm not adding any fetch XML or filter rows because I just have 5 records here. I just don't need any fetch XMLs or anything. Otherwise, let me add one here. I'll just add this fetch. This is for the student, right? Okay, let me just get for the courses. So what you have to do whenever you want to get the fetch XML, you can just add the filter here. For example, if not only the status, I just want to add another thing as well. Maybe course type equals to mandatory. Then only like whenever we have the status is active and course type is mandatory, those kind of courses only I just want to fetch. Okay, then I can just download the fetch XML and just get the only those records. But I don't think we are using this course type as mandatory in any records for now. So I'm just using the status equals to active and downloading the fetch XML for the courses entity. And I'm just using this. In the flow. Okay. All the active courses will be coming from this step. And then once the steps are, I mean, all the rows are coming, then how, what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just do something like update a row. Okay, update a row is nothing but I'm just trying to modify that particular record. So here you'll see another one. So once I select the course, okay, so here I have to select the row ID, single row ID, because I'm just using update a row. So I just have to select a row ID, which record I want to update, that record ID I have to provide here. But when you see this one list rows, I'm trying to get the multiple courses records here. It will not have a single record ID. So as soon as I select this row ID from here, for example, this is the list row, and I'm trying to get the course unique identifier for entity instance. So unique identifier is nothing but GUID. of that particular row ID. But here I'm having list rows. So once I select this course here, you can see apply to each came. So this is one control. So in normal coding scenarios, how we'll be having apply to each. So for each item, we have to iterate this loop. So the same thing here, apply to is a control which will loop through all the rows that are fetched in this step. Okay, so this value is nothing but this particular instance. So for example, I'm having 5 rows here. So for each row, it will get loop here. And whatever the steps I'm adding inside this apply to each, so all the actions will be repeated for 5 times. Okay, so here I'm saying update a row and row ID is a course ID. Okay, this course ID nothing but first here I'm having 5. So for the first record, it will update it and will again go back and get the second record ID and will update the second row, second course ID. So this way it will update all the rows, all the 5 rows. Okay, this is the apply to. So whenever we have a list rows, then instead of just having whatever the number of results we are getting, so for each record, if you want to do any action, then we can use this apply to each. Okay, so here I'm saying update a row and what I want to update here. So we don't have much options here in the course entity. We just have one field, so that is name, and whatever I provide here will get updated on all the courses. Okay, this we have to be clear, because if I just provide a random, for example, this is a hard code value and I'm saying LUIT, maybe just LUIT. So here if I'm saying LUIT, then this will get updated for all the 5 records. It will be same. Okay, so whenever you are working in apply to each control, then you have to be careful, because it will get update all the records with the same name. So instead of just providing the hard-coded value, if you have any dynamic content that you want to add it here, so that way you have to think when you are working inside the apply to each. But for now, to show you the answer, I'm just adding the LUIT, so that all the records course names will get updated with LUIT as an LUIT. Okay, I'm just saving it. Okay, here my trigger is manual trigger. So once I just want to trigger it, I'll just do it manually. That's all. Run flow. You can see this, right? I don't have to perform any action in the Dataverse. Rather, I just click on test and it will work. Okay, your flow ran successfully. Let's go back to the Dataverse and see whether name got updated or not. LUIT, LUIT, LUIT. You can see this, right? So all the records I have fetched and updated with the same name. This is this is not a logical requirement, but just let you know how the apply to each is working and how this instant Cloudflare is working. Well, just open. Any questions here? Okay, so instead of just opening this way, you can just going into the record, and from here flow. Usually they'll be coming here. If not, I think we have to select this one, see your place, and then it will navigate us to this space. And then from here, you can just run this one. Run option we have, right? So this way we can trigger the instant Cloudflow. Okay, so there may be some, yeah. Somebody's having question?
No.
Okay, fine. So it's not always that, maybe based on Dataverse actions, the flow should get triggered, but there are some scenarios. For example, when a course record is getting updated, maybe the student status from active to inactive, then in um, In not all the scenarios, but when the fee is paid, yes or no, maybe based on such scenarios, we don't want to perform this action on all such type of. I mean, whenever the student status is getting changed, in that scenario, we don't want to trigger, but maybe based on some values which are not like which we can't just add in this flow, automated cloud flow. So for that one, maybe based on our will, maybe we can just run this instant cloud flow. Okay, maybe not all the persons can just run it. Maybe few people whomever we will be sharing this flow, maybe those people can just run it for their purpose. Okay, so it's not like Oracle level, like whoever wants to like run this particular flow, then they can do it for the result. Okay, this is about the instant cloud flow. Whenever we want it, then only we will just trigger it instead of just based on the action from the database. Okay, so the next one is scheduled cloud flow. So here, when we just select at this time itself, it is asking run this flow at what time and repeat every at what scenario, like what time or which date. So it is asking. So starting from today at what time? 9:25 and right now, right? So I'm saying 9:30 p.m. and repeat every minute, every hour, like every day or every week or every month, every second. So based on our requirement, maybe I'm saying every day at 9:30 p.m. run this flow. Okay, here you can see the step came as recurrence because every day it is recurring every day. Okay, frequency interval is 1. Okay, you can change it to 2 day. So for every 2 days it will I mean it will trigger. I'm saying 1 here. And the time zone and start time. So these all you can just select. Otherwise, if it is just 1 day, that is also fine. Here I already provided the time. Right? Start time is today at 9:30. Maybe based on the time zone it will run. Let me just select it. Okay. And then next step is what I want to do every day. I want to fetch all the contacts. And then I have to check whether I'm having a like every contact is having a email or not. If not, then maybe we can send an email to the manager to update it or the team lead to update it so that we can do it here. Okay. So here the control, so we have this control option in the action, and inside this one, what are all the actions present in the control is condition apply to each. So this we can see later. We already seen this one apply to each. So the same way for if else we have this condition control. So we can just select it and choose a value. I'll be using nowhere in the Power Automate flow will be not using mostly. So mostly will not be using hard-coded values, rather we'll be using this dynamic content, which will be fetching in the previous steps or some previous steps. Okay. Or there are other variables as well, which we can discuss later. But for now, what we can think dynamic contents, which will be fetching in the previous steps. So here I'm checking list rows and whether email is having value or not. See, when as soon as I selected email, apply to each came because here we are having a multiple contacts. And inside the condition, it is checking if for this particular, for one record, is email is contains data or not, that I'm going to check. email only this. Okay, contains. So instead of just a null, if you just provide null, it will not work. Okay, so what we have to do, the expression. So what are all the expressions we use? That also we can just discuss in the next sessions only, but for now I'm just using for null only. Okay, so if you just provide null normally, it will not take that value. So we have to use the expression here. Email contains null. Then what you want to do. Maybe I want to update the email for that one with just some test email or something like that. Okay, I'm updating the contact. Which contact I want to update? Whatever I'm having in this loop. Okay, here I'm going here. And then we have to select the grid of this contact. Somewhere we'll see the unique identifier. You can see I'm working on this contact entity, and here for the contact, unique identifier of the contact. So I'm selecting it. So this record I want to update wherever we have the email contains null, there I'm updating the email as for now test, or maybe support account. Let's suppose say this is the default one I'm having in my org, and I'm just using it for it. Put a contact thread similar. So whatever the contact doesn't have value, I'm just updating this with this one. Maybe later somebody will check it and will update with the correct one. Okay, so first what I have done, first I'm saying the recurrence, and then what I want to do, I want to fetch the all the contacts present in the system, and then for each one I'm checking whether the email is having value or not. If not, I'm just adding the value here, and it is throwing some error. Okay, it's saying it's not an error, but it's a warning saying that here I'm fetching the contacts. So usually in any organization, we will be having a multiple contact records, right? So it is suggesting me to just use filter rows or fetch XML query, so that it will be easy for I mean it will be performance will be good for this one. But in our scenario we would only have few contact records, so I'm just not using any fetch XML query for this one. Okay, that is fine. The warning is fine. It will we can still run this flow. Okay, do we have any? I didn't save it. 9:30. Just to check the Mhm. Okay. Maybe try it now. It's not taking the null value. Okay, I'll tell you what I have done. So what I was checking previously is contains null. So that is the reason it was throwing error. So we should use equals to. If the email doesn't have any value, which means email is equals to null, then only update the row. Okay, I'm just recurrence. So here maybe we can set the time again, but for now I'm just testing manually. You can just play with the different times and different hours as well. Okay, in same day, how many times we can run? So that hours also we can mention, right? So here I'm just testing manually. You can see. Okay, what is happening? Wherever I'm not having value. So here I'm having value. Here also I'm having value. 3 value, 4 value. So this numbers is nothing but I have total of 7 records that got fetched from this step, and I'm trying to check the conditions in the 7 records, but all of them, unfortunately, all of them having values. Let me just create few contacts with no email. See, all of them having. Oh, it got updated in the first step. Sorry. So we have run this flow before also. When I first checked, we can see that this one 2 minutes ago. This actually updated the emails with the support account. Here you can see the condition. First is false, so which means it has, and the second is true, which means for the second record doesn't have an email, and it updated with the support account. So this way you can check for which record it is false and for which record it is true. Third record it is true, and the row ID of that record is this one, and I have updated that with this email. Okay, third and fourth, almost the last, all of them are not having a value, so I have updated that with support account at the rate gmail.com. You can see this one. Okay, so this way the requirement whatever I have told you might not be that much logical sense, but in every organization we do check for the some kind of checks at the maybe at every morning or evening to see whether every data is up to date or not. Maybe not the email, but for the contacts, maybe all the whenever there is an integration between Azure and the CRM, at that time, what we'll do, maybe the contact might not get created directly in the CRM. So in the third party app, other app, maybe the contact is getting created. So that has to be updated in the CRM. So in such scenarios, maybe every day morning or evening, anytime, based on the requirement, we will be creating the flow to check whether all the data is present in that app and this app is same or not. Okay, in such scenarios we can use this scheduled flows. So we'll just create it and set the recurrence. So daily it will just check and update the details based on the requirement instead of the user intervention. Okay, so here today we only talked about the Dataverse connector here, but maybe tomorrow by adding some more controls and actions, and then we can see the other connectors as well. For example, Excel or the SQL might not be possible because right now we might not have the database. I don't know whether the trial version is there with the Harish or not. So the other connectors which are all possible, we can try them as well, as we have tried the Microsoft Dataverse connector today. Okay, so any doubts here? No, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be able to try from your end, right? Before
Yes.
the
Yes.
next session,
Yeah.
just familiarize with this what are all we have in each type of flow. Just go
Mhm.
with the just creating each flow for each type. Maybe connectors you'll not be able to see, but whatever we have discussed for the Microsoft Dataverse connector, right? At least
Mhm.
for that connector, try to see what are all the options we have. Okay, everything is free here. You can just play with the different triggers and different actions also. Okay,
Okay.
in Microsoft Dataverse itself, we have plenty of actions and triggers. So just try that for today before the next session, so that in the next sessions, if the advanced the topics are getting like discussed, then it will be easy for you.
Sure. Sure. Definitely.
Okay, templates also please do check. But like we will be having so many things, the templates. Maybe once you are done with this one, then only we can check the templates. Then you will be understanding. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the URL that you have to hit make.paratomate.com whenever you want to create a flow.
Okay.
Just to try some flows. Okay. Any other questions for me? Any doubts?
I still don't know. So we'll try tomorrow, and if anything is there, tomorrow's session we'll discuss more on this.